Kentucky Sustainable Living. And from there, I'm going to mute myself so I don't kill everybody with coughing. And Patrick, take it away, sir.
Well, wonderful, wonderful evening. How's it going tonight, ladies?
I want to know who Bobby pissed off
Fantastic.
so that he got sick.
I think he was like he was walking around the neighborhood, like asking people who was sick, and he just like made. Well, what do you got there? Is that steak?
It's a
Is that a
T-bone.
tactical?
It's a T-bone.
That's
Wow,
not fair.
that's a tactical redneck T-bone.
How do our lives always end up during my dinner? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, so Nicole, tell us all about how your show went, and go.
It was great. I saw Jason there, and I saw him on Saturday. I suspect he was not there Sunday, but I don't know because there was a lot going on. So it was great to see somebody from Midwest Preparedness Project at Self-Reliance Festival. I'm sorry, Kentucky Sustainable Living. I messed that one up. I'm all excited about Midwest Preparedness in May.
Yeah.
It was a cool event. The topics, so one of the things I love most about Self-Reliance Festival is people have personal breakthroughs at the event where they decide to let go of fear and start pursuing their dream or start pursuing making their life better, whether that be like getting out of a bad relationship or starting a new business or realizing that while you can stockpile rice and beans, like it would be better if you actually stored the things you really use and use the things you really store, right? So we see these breakthroughs happen, and we had a number of them at Self-Reliance Festival. And the really cool thing was, if you watched the free webinar series we did, there was a dude who stood up and said, like, how do I deal with, when basically when I'm feeling depressed? And John said, well, what do you have to be depressed about? And the guy was like, basically, well, nothing specific, but I just feel this way, or I don't feel motivated or whatever. And John said, well, first you got to take care of you and go do stuff. And that was in October. And what he has done every single day without fail since that is record his workout and like post it on fast on TikTok every single day. He was 186 back-to-back days without a break. He's lost 50 or 80 pounds.
Wow.
Totally different dude. Totally feeling way more like confident about what he's doing. And that's what's most exciting to me about Self-Reliance Festival. So yes, the Self-Reliant Kitchen presentation from Alan was awesome. It was great to see Angry American there. It was great to see Toolman Tim and all the people who were there. But for me personally, it's watching those breakthroughs and then hearing back from the people who've had them at former events. So really stoked about that. Can't wait to see what happens next at Midwest Preparedness Project.
That is a fantastic story. That breakthrough story, I remember you talking about that. And so this guy, he's probably going to be a lifelong fan of the Self-Reliance Festival. This guy is probably going to this changed his life. That moment in time is forever etched in his memory, and it's going to define who he is moving forward. And it's those types of moments that are significant, like you said, for these people that come to these events. Most of the people, they're just going to be a face in the crowd, but there's a handful of them, like that one guy, that it was the right moment in time. He was meant to be there.
Yeah, when he shows up in the fall, he's going to be a completely different person.
Yeah, he might be a speaker. You never know.
So what's cool about all of our festivals are the people that are attracted to it are what I would call doers instead of takers or observers mostly. And so you can go to Kentucky Sustainable Living, you can go to Self-Reliance Festival, you can go to Midwest Preparedness, and just talking, like even if you're an introvert, like just talking with some of the strangers there about what you're doing, instead, like you'll be like, hey, I've got bone broth guy here. Hey, I've been thinking about doing a freeze-dried bone broth business. And instead of hearing all the reasons that's a stupid idea and how hard the USDA and FDA regulations are going to be on you and like all of these things, they're like, oh, here are some ideas of how you could do it. Or have you thought of doing it that way? And just, I think having that around you is more important than any other part of the event. And Shelly's here. So she's like, like we book vendors, we find sponsors, we find speakers, we do a lot of work on that part of the show, which is what gets the people there. but really it's those other little conversations that make these events different, because you are just exposed to different people than what I would call normies.
Mhm.
Well, when you think about when Randy and I started homesteading, and we still work our jobs, so that's not everybody does that. Some people jump in and that's all they do. But when we started homesteading, our families are like, "What are you doing?" And it wasn't so much, like having chickens. Lots of people do chickens. Lots of people raise a garden. But when we started killing animals, okay, when we started putting them in our freezer, our family was like, "What? You
Just
did
got
what?
real.
Like you went to a class to learn to do what?" And
You're
so
killing
when we
stuff?
go to these events, when we go to Self-Reliance, or we go, I haven't been to Midwest, but I'm sure it's the same way out there. When we go to those
coming though,
things,
right?
you're absolutely right. Yes, I'm going to be there. You're absolutely right. They're doers. They're your tribe. They're your people, and
Man.
they're not the people that's going to shoot down your dream like everybody else that thinks you're crazy for going to a hog processing class or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very much a culture of inspiration at these events.
Yeah.
And you realize everybody else is just crazy too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And it's okay.
Or it's that everybody's normal and those people that aren't like us are crazy because we're the ones that are doing. We're not the ones criticizing. We're not the ones sitting back, doing this from the couch saying you can't do that. We're doing it.
Right.
I feel
It
like
was-
the "How dare you" thing needed to come up right then.
Oh,
I'm
that
a
was
little
perfect
disappointed
timing.
it didn't.
Waiting for
Bobby's like, "Where is that?"
Where is the how dare? Oh, is it over here? Is
I
that
think I
over
over
there,
left it in,
yeah.
I think I left it in the studio.
Yeah, he looks like he's in physical pain right now.
Oh,
About
where's
how
how
dare
dare
you.
you? I don't know where how dare you is tonight, but we're gonna have to make a few how dare yous now.
I have a "How dare you"
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed at our festival was that there was a lot of people that were new to homesteading, preparedness, all of that were actually coming up to us and saying, "We're new to this. Like, what do we do?" And that just encouraged me more, to know that what Jason and I are putting together here in Kentucky it's a good thing, because there's a lot of people that, when you're trying to organize this, when you're trying to put it together, you get a lot of doors slammed in your face. There's a lot of people telling you can't do that and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, if there was only 2 people, there was a lot more, but even if there was just 2 people that came up and said, "I'm glad you're doing this," that's total reward for me,
But doesn't that make you think, like, content-wise, you might want to add a couple sessions of, like, this is the getting started session,
Yes.
which would be perfect, because like it seems like you've already done it. You've already talked about like the 3 things you need to know in advance of doing your homestead. That the advice we give that nobody actually takes, but we give it every time about starting one thing a year. You need to do that every year, and maybe one person will listen.
You don't do that till year 5, Nicole. That's when you start doing the one thing.
Oh, they really meant just one thing a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nicole, if you had to guess, how many tokens do you think you gave out at your spring event?
Surprisingly, not as many as I thought I would, because in October they were flying out of my pockets, but maybe that means people have them. I gave 20 out. I had 2 other people designated to giving them out.
Okay.
And I had some people forget to get their tokens and email me and say, "Oops,
Oh, well.
Ooh.
Sucks for them.
I guess
guess
you
Oh.
guys
they're
gotta
gonna
come
do-
in fall. Tickets
Yeah.
are on early bird right now."
Yeah,
Should have
Patrick,
been
why don't you
there.
grab those tokens?
yeah. Good news is they get one more chance this year.
Yeah.
Patrick, grab those tokens and show them off.
Oh my goodness! Look at these guys.
I've got all my tokens, so I can show all 3 now.
Oh, you do? That's right. You do.
Yeah,
So-
my MWPP ones got like lost in postage outer space, and they finally came out of the USPS. Sweet.
oh yeah, look at Shelly.
There they are.
Shelly's
Look at
gonna get a
Shelly.
knife.
Bam! Shelly's getting a knife. Look at this, guys. So you guys missed out on this. I don't know. Let me see. Can we see that? Is it gonna
That's
zoom up?
ours.
All right. Yeah. There's that KSL. Look at that. And then you should have picked up this guy.
Yep.
Yeah. You just missed out on that one. Whoever that was that just emailed Nicole. And then you get a chance to get this guy here in a couple of weeks.
Don't miss it.
Yep.
So for those who don't remember or haven't chimed into one of our lives with the tour before, essentially, if you collect one of each of those tokens by attending each show on the tour at least once during the calendar year of 2024, at the end of the year, you will be receiving a Christmas present from the tour. So we are going to come up with a way to collect that data where you have to probably send us a picture of you holding all three of them. You got to actually give us proof. And if you prove that you've been to all three and you can show that you've been to all three, there might be something really cool coming in the mail to you.
Very limited edition. Very cool. Very useful.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess we can kind of talk about the next show. That's actually, Shelly, is there anything else that after you guys had a chance to kind of recap on after doing your show, anything you and Jason found that you guys thought you wanted to change for the fall? Like, so you've got your fall shows planned, right? Both of you now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got those up on the Preparedness Tour site. Real quick, let me see if I got that here.
I feel like we were kind of mean
We
to
are
Jason
looking
and Shelly
at-
by making them go on a live stream like 3 days after their event and say, "So how was it?" They were like, "I
I
just
know,
want to
they-
go to
you
bed,
know
Nicole."
I haven't woken up yet.
You both look so tired. I feel so sorry for
was
you.
exhausted.
Yeah.
So the date for our fall show is October 26th and 27th, and it's funny that Nicole was talking about, the how you
The
should start
101
things
level
and
stuff.
all of that, and because Jason and I decided that the theme for our festival, we want it to be back to the basics. And that's only because we had so many people coming up to us and being like, we're brand new to this. Like, where do we start? What do we do? And so, that we're going to do, we're going to teach people about raising rabbits and processing rabbits. And we're going to have we did a chicken processing last fall, but we're going to do that again this time, because that's kind of the gateway thing to get you in to start growing your own meat, and it's an easy thing. It's not like growing cows or pigs and stuff like that. But we're going to do workshops and talk about canning and just those basic things to get people on track with that. So
Good.
we're really wanting to hone in and focus on that back to the basics thing.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's a lot less in a chicken that you have to pull out and put into a compost pile.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're saying chickens are the gateway drug to homesteading?
Yes.
Kinda, yeah.
Canning
Alright.
can be too, like when you're in the city and you make relationships with your farmer's market, and like that one farmer has all the extra corn for cheap, and you learn how to can it in the city. That can also be a gateway to homesteading, because then you're like, man, I have all this great tasting food that I didn't spend very much money on. I just put a little effort in, and it tastes better than the canned stuff at the store.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
You
then
know,
you start growing your vegetables, and then eventually you get chickens.
And then you're like, now I need more land to plant this awesome food.
Right. And then you move.
Yep.
That's how this works. And then you
That's
attend
exactly how it happened.
Next thing you know, you
Yep.
have a bottle lamb.
Yes.
you start this up, this project called Living Free in Tennessee, and you're like doing these awesome shows, and you're an entrepreneur, and you're teaching people how to go out and teach other people. It's a good thing. These are good things.
Just start with 2 sheep, and then you grow that to 9, and then all of a sudden, in 2 months, you've doubled your flock.
Let me just say, birthing season was a little trying this year.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear that. It's kind of like that for a lot of people. Kyle had a handful of sheep that were giving him some problems. There's a couple of our other friends up here that
Yeah.
had some twins and triplets.
Well, the crowning achievement for me was I went to SRF to set up, and the last ewe had not given birth yet. She finally gives birth. I'm like, yes, she gave birth. Bring her in.
Nice.
She gave birth, and then
that's
something
nice.
else happened. This was on our last live stream.
Aw.
Look how she's doing. We didn't know she was going to live last time.
Wow,
Oh.
healthy.
He's getting so big. Look
Oh,
at that
baby.
Oh, it's
baby.
getting big.
Yeah, hey baby.
Yeah, I think she should wait until 8 o'clock because we're teaching her to reduce bottles. But
Your dinner.
Oh no. Oh
No.
yes.
she's kind of like a dog, actually.
Really?
Yeah, she's super friendly.
Nice.
That's
But-
great.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I'm at SRF and the birth goes fine, and then one of our LGDs nipped at the mom and like took a little nip out of her ear.
Mm.
Oh wow.
And there was and I was like, what? Like, really? We couldn't just have one birth this year go fine?
Yeah.
And Tactical's like, what I'm doing? And I'm like, you just leave her alone for 2 hours. We make sure they're bonded. You keep the dogs away. And we'll put some stuff like some iodine on it later. But if you get in there and get involved, they might not bond. And then we're going to have 2 bottle babies. And we don't want that. So just walk away. So that's the hard part about homesteading, I think, when you have, or farming, is you have this livestock and you're responsible for the livestock. And understanding when to get involved and when not to is really hard, because sometimes to let weird situations you would usually help with just go because,
It's all managing inputs and output, and monitoring outputs, and it's you got to know when to provide those inputs and when not to.
Yeah.
And that just takes time, and there's going to be mistakes when you start, but the important thing is to start.
Yeah. Well said.
I try.
I agree.
So guys, what's the theme for May? Like, what are we doing?
So we're
All of it.
rolling right into 19 days coming into the Spring Preparedness Festival here at Clinton Lake, the Bloomington West campsite. We went out, we tested the campsite here the weekend before last. It's a gorgeous campsite. We tested it. You know what happens at the Kansas campsite? Sometimes it doesn't stay, but most of the time it does. Just gonna say, the cameras come out. Anyways, it was a good time. I think we're gonna have a great camp out. We have all kinds of good stuff planned. So obviously, aside from Bartertown, the seed exchange on Friday, we've added the My Honey's Kitchen food tasting contest and cookbook contest, which we're doing Thursday afternoon now. We've added a whole host of new people. Bobby, can we talk about the people that we've added now?
As far as the classes?
Yeah, well, just some like the Freedom Panel gals, like our Canadian friends and our UK friends. And
Yep, all that has been released except for the UK part, but we can go ahead and talk about that. We really wanted to focus this particular event on having far more feminine input. It's not a political statement by any means. The men are important. We're all about, men and women being absolutely strong and, equally partnered together. But forever, these prepper homesteading shows are all about bug out bags, rifles, and a bunch of guys yelling and screaming about how everybody else is doing it wrong. And we were kind of like, well, we're kind of missing, the other half. And so we have a lot more female speakers this time. We have Dawn Gorman, who's going to be out giving a homestead presentation. Nicole's going to be there giving a homestead presentation. We have a special event with Lindsay Brandon from Permaculture Canada. Is that what the Permaculture Guru? She's going to be there both on the Freedom Panel now, and she's going to be giving a special event, about a 40-minute presentation Saturday morning. And then the other stuff is is a lot less prepper and more homesteady this time around. We've got the beekeeping class Friday morning. We have the female self-defense class Saturday morning. And then Tag and B are going to be doing the first ever live from the stage on Saturday afternoon. And then, of course, we have the 2 giveaways Friday and Saturday. And we're even going to do the children's giveaways from the main stage this time on Friday and Saturday. Nicole, we have been requested to steal from you the Where Are You From segment. And so we're probably going to incorporate that a little bit, because I've had some phone conversations with random people who reached out to us saying, hey, how do we actually network with people?
Do you want me to do a connection session in addition to my Prezo?
Now you're talking.
Oh yeah, you're really good at it. So
Tag and I, or whoever, and I can just do that.
Yeah,
I love this.
I'll be there. I think I'll be there. I'm leaving Sunday morning, but yeah.
Why don't we just do it after your presentation?
Yeah, or whenever.
At the end of your presentation on Saturday.
Sure.
Yeah, that'll work out great.
So, Skane's girl, hi. In the comments.
Oh yes, are we able to have
Skane's girl? I'm sure I've met you in person, and you've told me your actual name. And if you're going to Midwest Preparedness Project, I would like you to tell me that you're Skane's girl on YouTube, because I have not connected you with your name.
Yeah, you met her.
You better be there.
I think she was at Kentucky Sustainable Living, and I talked to her, and I need to make sure. Like
She was
I
at
have
Kentucky
you,
Sustainable
you are
Living
currently
last fall.
probably 2 people. What?
She was at Kentucky Sustainable Living last
Oh
fall.
no, Jay. So Chuck, let the cat out of the bag.
Okay.
Thank you, though, Chuck.
Just be sure.
So yeah,
This happens to me on YouTube where
her.
I'm like, I'm talking to you on YouTube and I'm talking to you in person, and I don't realize you're the same person. And and I realize with Skane, I'm like, I've met Skane's girl. I talked to her online. I think she's awesome, and I'm sure I think she's awesome in person too. And I haven't like put them together.
She is super awesome.
She did ask in the comments if there's going to be a big campfire. Yes, there's one large central campfire area that we are going to designate a no camping spot around it. And that's where we'll do the dub brawl on Friday evening, Preppers After Dark. But there are like 25 or so campfire rings around this place, unlike the last place. It's 7 times the size of Perry.
Oh, every campsite has its own little campfire ring, but there's one giant campfire ring. And actually, Nicole, this brings up a great point. You and Skane's girl have something in common. I just realized you both have a history in the entertainment industry. You both
Let
are.
me entertain you. Oh wait, it's not that kind, right?
No, it is. That's it. You're both performers. So Skane's girl is a performer too. She actually does some performing as well. I won't ruin it. I'll let Skane's girl, when the two of you meet at the festival, like work it out. Like you can do your magic, and I'll let Skane's girl do like her. Like she's pretty good.
I'm just saying, like I knew I'd met her, but I had not connected her handle with her person.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just admitting it publicly so we can fix that at Midwest Preparedness.
She's kind of like a cross between Olivia Newton-John and Testimona.
Perfect.
I didn't know that.
she didn't disagree. It's gonna be great.
All right. So anyway, back to the Midwest spring event coming up. Let's. People are
anyway, I'm sick. Let's get back on track. Okay.
Oh, I gotta lay down.
We love you, girl.
We got our big top tent that has been purchased thanks to all the donations from the folks who donated to that, and there will be a thank you banner created with everyone who donated to that. We did practice putting the tent up a couple weekends ago, and we took it down in a pretty good wind, and we got it done. So Monday we're going to be setting up, getting all that kind of stuff arranged, getting the vendors lined out, getting, the staff where they're going to be camping, and getting up all the stuff we have to do for the logistical part of this. And then Tuesday morning at the latest, we'll open it up to the public. If we get absolutely done with everything midday Monday, maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll let you guys know on social media and stuff like that. And like I said, stay tuned to the website, stay tuned to our Discord, stay tuned to our YouTube and our Facebook. We're going to be pumping out information pretty fast here over the next few weeks.
Yeah, for anyone coming a long ways, though, plan to come out Tuesday.
Yep.
We'd hate for you to sit outside the gate for a day. So.
We might let you in.
Yeah, we might.
Put you to work.
Yeah.
Give you a volunteer.
We need crew. We need volunteers. So
you might get a voluntold shirt.
One thing to keep in mind is at this particular campground, there is a very strict Army Corps rule of 2 tires on, 2 tires off. So we're probably going to be a little more strict on where people can park and how many vehicles can be parked in the campground. So you guys might have to walk a couple 100 yards from where you park your main car if you're not staying the night. You're a prepper, you're a homesteader, you should be able to do that anyway. So no griping. Get in there, charge in there, and have a good time.
You're going to enjoy the show. You know what? It's going to be good. We've got some food vendors this year. We've got all kinds of stuff that's prepared for everybody. We've got a full-blown a playground. We've got basketball court. There's a volleyball court there. There's all kinds of good stuff there.
Are there showers?
There are. We do have shower houses.
Yes.
And they work great. They're fantastic. So we did test out the shower house. Kyle and I went, and we didn't test it at the same
phrasing.
No, we didn't. But Christy tested the showers and said they're amazing on the women's side.
Yeah.
And
I just love watching Shelly's face through all of this.
we might have had a bit of a solo concert or two, because I'm just saying the acoustics in those bathrooms are amazing.
They're phenomenal. I'm just
Order after one.
I mean,
I,
you know,
I feel like we should
Beethoven's
play
second or,
videos and have
you
her
know.
face on the
Yes.
videos. That would be really good.
Shelley
is there?
reviews.
Patrick, what is there? Like, is it 4 showers on each side, on the male
Yes.
and female side?
Yep.
So there's 8
Yep.
total showers at this place. A whole bank of
Latrines and
latrines on both sides and urinals on the male side. There's a
Yep.
center portion with a double sink, I think, and all
Yeah.
that. It's a much better facility than what we had before.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you did a great job with that facility before.
The little campground.
Yeah,
It was cozy, wasn't it?
it was well, like the bathrooms weren't that bad,
yeah.
and
Well,
I
hold on to
heard
that.
there
Not
were
that
showers.
bad.
I didn't realize that while I was there, but I wasn't there long enough to.
Yeah. Hold on to
Yeah.
that. Not that bad, and raise your standards. And I'm telling you, they're so good. These are so much better.
Like you didn't catch it on like a good hot
Yeah.
summer day, because like the vault toilets.
Yes.
Look at Shelley's
I
face.
understand.
Like
I mean,
Shelley reviews.
You're not gonna want to just like not shower for a week.
Like you catch a vault toilet on like a hot summer day after like a week of like 150 people just blowing it up, and like having potlucks, and it's it can be kind of
and
interesting.
potluck food.
Yeah.
Haas GS
Like,
14.
literally, I just want to watch Shelly's face for this whole live stream.
So what is that? Haas GS.
Yeah,
14?
Haas GS 14.
What will
is
be at the
Gas-
festival?
There will be
Yeah.
6 or 7 total presentations. We have a beekeeping class on Friday morning. We have a homesteading class by Don Gorman Friday afternoon. And then we have the Freedom Panel. The Freedom Panel is an event where all the speakers and a few extra guests get on stage with tag from Life Done Free and our directly asked questions from the crowd. You can directly interact with all of them. Nicole will be on that Freedom Panel. Patrick will be on that Freedom Panel. I'll be the monkey in the audience with the microphone running around grabbing questions and stuff like that. And then on Saturday, we have the female self-defense class. We have Lindsay from Permaculture Canada, the permaculture guru, giving a presentation second on Saturday morning.
Yep.
Nicole's giving her You Can Do It Alone homesteading course or presentation Saturday mid-afternoon. And then the final event will be a live YouTube live from the stage by Tag and B from Life Done Free.
Mhm.
There's a giveaway on both days for the children. There's a giveaway on both days for the adults. There's also going to be a cookbook cook-off on Thursday. Patrick, take over for a minute.
Yeah, there's a cookbook cook-off on Thursday. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening. So we're doing raffles. So our camp out is driven by donations. We don't charge anything yet. We've tried a bunch of different formulas on how to make this thing the best and the easiest attending and all those other things. So right now that's how we monetize is through our raffles and our giveaways that Spags and I will give up there and do on stage. And so we're going to actually do 3 different giveaways like he alluded to. So Ayla, who is the youngest of the Tag clan, this year we gave her an SOE tactical, or no, it was a Bruce DeVries bag.
Yeah.
So we gave her, was it the SOE bag?
No.
Yeah, it was the SOE bag.
So we gave Ayla an SOE bag, a tool bag, and we asked her, or we asked Rowdy Tag to ask her to fill it up with like whatever a kid would want or need in the apocalypse, or like a farm or a homestead. So she got to go in the store, and so from a kid's perspective, she filled it out. So that's kind of one of the cool things that's going to be given away on the kids side. I think last year they gave away Goldback certificates, Bobby?
Yeah, Hancock. It was 2 ago. It was during the spring event.
Yep.
One of our longtime patrons and sponsors, Hancock, just walked up and dropped like $100 or $200 worth of gold backs on the kids' table just to give out to the kids randomly, and it was cool.
Yeah, so kids were running around at our event last year with like real gold certificates, and they're like, "Mommy, look, I got this from a table." She's like, "Oh my God, where'd you get that? This is real gold."
We do have a full lineup of kids events too. So all on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday there will be children's events. The taste test challenge will be on Thursday at the same time as the cookbook cook-off will be.
Yep.
And Patrick, why don't we talk about the cook-off? Promote that a little bit because I think we need to get more word out about that.
Yeah, so there's a contest that we're running right now with My Honey's Kitchen and Riverside Survival Supply. They're both sponsors of the camp out. They both donate, and again, that's what we raffle off is the stuff that they donate. And so this year, Ginger and Jennifer teamed up, and they did a cookbook tandem with a bunch of people that came into the shop and taste tested some stuff. And Bobby and I went and did some taste testing with them. So anyways, we're doing a cookbook challenge from the stage this year. And I guess the winner's getting like a 72-hour bag of protein. And there's all kinds of goodies that are being given away on the cookbook challenge. And everybody that participates is going to get a free cookbook. And then they're going to get discounts on freeze-dried food. And it's an awesome deal. And their food is amazing.
Yeah.
I can't tell it, and I can't stress this enough. I've tried Mountain House. I've tried all different kinds of freeze-dried food. And My Honey's Kitchen, which is a local shop, really does have the best freeze-dried food I've ever tried.
They absolutely are the best. I can vouch for that 100%. And I'm honored I'll get to be one of the judges on that panel because I like eating well, and I've never had a bad meal from My Honey's Kitchen. So,
dude, their cheesy chicken broccoli is like,
oh my gosh.
It's not slap your mom good, but it's pretty close.
Chicken, broccoli, and rice. Yeah, the chicken Alfredo, even some of the desserts and the sides. And what I love about them too is they even have individual ingredients, so you can craft your own meal out of the pieces you can get from them. So you don't have to just stick with what they, the pre-made meals that they have. Yep. It's kind of an a la carte approach a lot of times. So.
Well, up to the top 10 dishes that get the highest marks will be included in the next version of the cookbook too. So you get true. if you are one of the top 10 recipes presented, you get to be published in the cookbook.
Yep.
Excellent. Yep, that's right. You will be immortalized in the My Honey's Kitchen Riverside Survival Supply co-op cookbook.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yep. If you go to My Honey's Kitchen on their website, they have a portal where you can purchase the food right now ahead of time. You have to have your dishes prepared before 3 o'clock Thursday. You can't cook at 3. We need to be taste testing at 3. So have your dishes pre-made beforehand. Have an index card or a sheet of paper with the recipe that's easily usable, easily readable, and can be replicated. You'll have to sign a waiver so that you're granting them permission to publish your recipe. But you win, like the top 4 are going to win a freeze-dried food package, and it goes from a 72-hour down to I have three entrees, 2 entrees, and 1 entree, plus everyone who participates gets the cookbook. So go to their website. You can get the food right now at 10% off. So even if you don't use all of it for the contest, buy as much as you want at the discount and put it in your bunker and use what you're going to use for the,
I mean, if you're doing this as part of your business, like say you have an LLC or an S corporation and you go to myhoneys.com and you buy ingredients to test to make the recipe in advance. And then you buy the ingredients to do it at Midwest Preparedness. And say you don't use everything, you'd have some extra stuff. Like, I feel like that might be a tax write-off.
See, I think Nicole's giving you a cheat code right there.
Very well could be.
Write that down, folks. That was a free one.
The answers to the test.
And you prove that you did it by your entrance into the contest.
Yep.
Right. Yep. True story. True story. So I'm expecting some kind of really good recipe, Shelly.
Please. I'm
not the cook in my family for real.
Really, Randy? Okay, so Randy, I know you're lurking. I expect a good recipe.
I saw him lurking earlier in the background.
He is. He was lurking somewhere in the background there. So yes.
I'm actually on the website right now looking through this stuff, trying to figure out what I want to do.
I can tell. I can see in your glasses. I saw their logo.
I can see in your glasses.
Oh, yeah.
How cool would it be if other members from the tour were able to get their recipes into the local cookbook here at this part of the tour? That would be super.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So we also is Thursday the big Nerf gun war, or is that Friday, Bobby?
Now, the Nerf gun war is going to be on Saturday. That's going to happen at
Saturday.
11 o'clock, around the same time Lindsey Brandon's
Okay.
presentation is going to be.
Yep.
On Friday, they have a compass navigation class. They have the blanket challenge, and then there's the kids' prize drawing. And then Saturday, they have a really neat thing Christy's doing this year called Trash to Treasure, where you have to take things and repurpose it into something useful. And then they have the Nerf gun war, and then they have a fire starting challenge at 2 o'clock, and then again the kids prize drawing at 6 o'clock. So
Okay, I kind of feel like since I've never been there, somebody needs to email me a list of supplies, because when I seen Skane's girl pop up here with 3 Nerf guns, I was like, what the crap? I got to bring Nerf guns?
yeah, well, the kids always
I
have
need a
Nerf gun
list.
wars every time. So like if you're bringing your grandkids or whatever and they want to participate, just have them bring a Nerf gun with them. I did give Christy a bunch of Ronin's old Nerf guns that still worked, and so she'll have extras on hand too.
Our buddy Rich Colson is bringing like a tote full of Nerf guns. Tara and I bought a bunch of Nerf guns to donate, and we will inspect all the Nerf guns before we just let kids randomly just start like peppering each other, just to make sure they're
Nerf guns.
Safety check.
Yeah, safety check. But
Ac-
yeah,
I'll tell you what I loved at your last one that I was at was that telephone demo. I don't remember the kid's name that put it together.
oh yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
Dallas.
Dallas.
it was a phone hooked
Yeah, he
up
had
to
the
another
235
phone,
thing.
Yeah.
and like you dialed and then you talked to each other on the phone like we did in real life in the 80s.
Yeah,
Like a rotary phone?
Yeah, like
No.
a rotary phone that rang.
these
That's
dudes
awesome.
like a field phone, like a T-35 field phone, like an Army surplus, like battery,
Mhm.
hand-driven, like crank-driven field phone, and they had like 100 foot of wire. It was crazy. There was just like these kids running all around the campsite, like talking to each other, like, "Hello, can you hear me? Hello, I can hear you. Hello, is this the operator?" "This
Like
is the
remember
operator."
when we did the paper cups with yarn?
Yes.
Yep.
It was like
Yeah.
that, only with a real phone.
Yeah, so cool.
He's
That's cool.
he's a classic success story of Midwest Preparedness Project too. He's been coming
Dallas. That's what they're saying in the
Yeah,
comments.
since he was a kid, and
Jamie's
invited
announced
and
tonight.
brought by one of the core folks, and he's now coming on his own, and he's one of us. So
Yeah.
this is one of those events that you show up and you get there and you never want to leave and you never want to miss another one.
Well, you
One of us.
Exactly.
One of us.
One of
One of us.
Well, yeah, Mrs. Sanders is in the chat there.
Hey.
Mrs. Sanders, she's in the same boat.
Yep.
She started coming a few campouts back, and now she's as weird as it sounds.
One of us.
Anyway, yeah, but yeah.
The tribe grows.
Yep. So, anyways, I think that's it. That's it for us this evening. I think the show's starting to wind down. I think we've covered everything that we needed to cover. So, Nicole, is there any imparting bits of wisdom you want to grace us with on our way out this evening?
Grace, I'm not. I mean, wisdom, really.
I know you got a stake there. I know that is just like calling your name. It's probably done like.
You don't even have to put the 7-year-old lipstick on it.
I know. Oh damn!
So you guys don't know it, but I have an event that starts on Wednesday here, the
Oh,
Living Free in Tennessee Spring Workshop, which is
that's right.
much smaller than anything y'all are doing. We have about 50 people.
Yep.
And I have been having it so close to SRF this time was a real problem for me
Hmm.
because doing that and then having that here. But because I did Self-Reliance Festival, a dude named Ken camped at my property on his way from Alabama back home.
Mm.
And stained half of Taj Mahal while he was here, like just helped out and cleaned up
Wow.
like my tomato area.
Bonus.
So, and that's because of Self-Reliance Festival, right?
Nice.
And then AJ, who, if you were at Self-Reliance Festival, did the bone broth, has stayed in my glamper, which you will see it at Midwest Preparedness Project. Yes, we're gonna make it solar in a week at my workshop.
Oh, I love it.
That's
So he's
great.
also a caterer. and I cook most of our food in advance of the Living Free in Tennessee workshop with stuff we raised here. So he got here on day 1 and processed a lamb,
Wow.
which we are turning into shepherd's pie for the workshop. So
Dude, it's a
that's
trooper.
what I'm saying is, like, you put yourself out there, and when you put yourself out there by leaving your homestead and going to these events, and it's really hard because, like, you just need to be home on your homestead, right, Shelly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. What happens at these events is you meet the community that helps you. So if you've been listening to all our lives and you have not gone to an event and you have not signed up for Midwest Preparedness Project, freaking go.
Yeah.
Like, get off your butts and go. And if you're not going to that one, go to one of the 3 in the fall. Like, we do these events twice a year.
Yep.
And the relationships of the people you make are I can't believe that some rando person I met at Self-Reliance Festival came here, spent 8 hours staining my Taj Mahaler, 8 hours. And then I'm like, hey, can I pay you? And he's like, no.
That's amazing.
I'm like, well, I'm glad I fed you steak. Like, that's amazing. And it's those, like, it's not for that payback that I mean, but, like, apparently we're bringing enough value at these events that people want to help us too. And it's cool. And when you go there and you go with the what can I give you standpoint, like, when I go to Midwest Preparedness, it's not like, what can I take out of this? It's what can I give people while I'm there?
Yep.
When you go in with that mindset, and everybody goes in with that mindset, it actually is kind of, it's almost magical how what started as a small thing turns into a big thing because we're all putting in.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what, it's just important to make time for it. And the only way you make time for it is by saying, I'm going to do it, and just do it.
Being one of the doers. I think that's how this started. This conversation started with being one of the doers. Yeah.
Be a doer, not a dreamer.
That's it. That's it. Well, you can dream. It's good to dream. I mean, there's nothing wrong with dreaming, but, you know, without actually getting out there and doing, it's just a dream.
Also, I know this Skanes girl wants to present at Self-Reliance Festival in October, so she should email me about that.
Yep.
There you go. Connections.
Skanes girl, if you don't know how to get a hold of her, get a hold of Spags or I. We
Nicole at livingfreeintennessee.com.
There you go.
Hey, Mr. Myers in the house tonight.
All right.
Back in the house.
There's the tag in the house, the tag train. So say that again. I'm going to put it in the chat. Say that again, Nicole.
What? Nicole and ICOLE at livingfreeintennessee.com. The longest URL in history. Except for Kentucky Sustainable Living.
I was going to say, I don't think it's longer than ours.
We've all got long.
Preparednessproject.com.
That's,
they're not
long.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have that. We do. We pick the longest friggin' names. So, anyways, there you go, Skanes girl. Get a hold of her. Shelly, you got any parting wisdom for us this evening as we make our way out?
You know, if as far as these festivals go, Nicole is absolutely right. If you focus what you're doing on adding value to other people, you'll always be successful, because it comes back. I mean, if that's truly what you're about, is just adding value to other people, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Amen. Brother Spags, you have any words of wisdom to drop on the crowd?
Get off your butts and come to the festivals, guys. You will experience some magic, things you've never seen before. And this isn't your old dad's paintball in the woods prepper stuff anymore. This is the modern prepping homesteading movement, and it is more all encompassing. It encourages every part of the family, and it takes strong families to create strong communities. And so in order for that community mindset to work, everyone has to work together as families. This is a great place to get started.
That's it. Brother Kyle?
Every one of these shows has a culture and a presence. Every one of these shows has a different crowd that it draws. And as Nicole is saying, I'll echo it again. Be a doer. That's the main thing. And, you know, tying it back to the conversation we had at the top of the call about the gentleman who showed up and stood up and was battling with depression. You don't realize how powerful it is to put your energy into somebody else, and how much you can overcome with those mental pains or problems when you're not focused on just selfish endeavors. So be a doer. Show up.
Can I interrupt?
Mhm.
Because I've been to Midwest preparedness and I know how very different they are than both Shelley's and my festivals. Like, if you want to sit around the campfire drinking the fizzy water with me, that's actually the best place to do it.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of time to talk to people. And that's true of the other speakers who will be there and the other participants. It's really a great place to just like chill and have deep conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
You really want to gain depth and get to know folks around a campfire and figure out who your community is and who the people are around you that can support you, even if they're 20 minutes or 2 hours away. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is the event to come to. So come on, come meet us, come join us. We'll be there waiting.
Yep.
I want to
Awesome,
say
guys.
something real quick about what you were saying about the guy with depression. It probably was nothing to John to say what he said to that guy, because he was just sharing, like what he does, but it changed that guy's life.
Amen.
And I mean, you're going to encounter people and you may not think you have anything to give them. You may just be saying, like John told that guy, you need to work on yourself, because that's what John does, and he literally changed that guy's life. So don't dismiss that stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, not at all. Absolutely. It's those little bitty nudges of encouragement that often
Right.
drive someone over the edge of either self, I guess, absolvement and finding themselves, or just spiraling out of control. So
It's that culture of inspiration.
yeah, that's it. That's it. Come to Midwest Preparedness Project, guys, May 7th through the May 12th at Clinton Lake in just outside of Lawrence, Kansas. Come find your tribe, guys. So on that note, thank you everybody for joining us. We look forward to the next time, and you guys have a great evening. Good night,
Hope to
everybody.
see you there.